Hi, I'm Dempsey Pollock, and this week I'm reviewing Dark Phoenix, or X-Men Dark Phoenix, was directed by Simon Kinberg, who is most notable for actually producing the last few X-Men films, but here, it's his directorial debut. And fun fact, the guy also brought us Fan Four Stick. Just remember that. Now, this film features an ensemble cast consisting of James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, Sophie Turner, Ty Sheridan, and Jessica Chastain, just to name a few. And this film is the final entry in Fox's X-Men saga, and it follows very closely the comic book storyline of Dark Phoenix, which, for those of you guys who don't know, follows Jean Grey, the infamous X-Men, as she's possessed by a powerful and mysterious entity known as Phoenix. And personally, I thought that it was just okay. This film literally feels different from every other X-Men film before it. Not only in terms of tone, but definitely in terms of action too, or lack of action rather. This film is just so somber, like almost to the point where it's really impossible to enjoy what's happening. And on top of that, most of the actors are phoning it in, especially Jennifer Lawrence, and most surprisingly, James McAvoy. I've seen these characters, I know these characters, and I know what they're capable of, yet for the entire film, they really do not make me care for what's happening at all. The film's main antagonist, played by Jessica Chastain, is also very dull. I mean, despite seeing her powers in action and knowing what she's capable of, not once was I ever really buying what she was selling. And the two characters that you usually go to these films to see, Quicksilver and Magneto, are totally wasted. Magneto doesn't even show up till halfway through the film, I'm not even kidding. And even his arc throughout the film feels really scaled back. Believe it or not, the most interesting thing about this film is the fact that it contains both the worst action sequence that I've ever seen in an X-Men movie, which consists of fighting in the middle of a street in New York City at night, and yes, it is just as messy as it sounds, and boy, is it a doozy, really. However, the film also contains one of the best action sequences that I've ever seen in an X-Men movie, too. Literally, the entire tail end of the third act is probably the best thing about this film. The entire train sequence is probably the only thing in this film that makes it truly feel like an X-Men movie, but as incredible as it is, it doesn't take away from the rest of the film's mediocrity. In addition to being dull, it's very inconsistent. I remember when I first saw the trailer and I noticed Mystique's makeup for the film, I was like, whoa, why does she look so much lighter? And then, when the movie starts up, she isn't that light at all. She's actually, as blue as she's ever been, if that makes sense. But then throughout the film, she becomes lighter. It's the strangest thing. It's almost as if they were like, you know what, Jennifer, I think this is the last scene we're going to shoot you in, so who cares? We'll just make it easy so that you could take off the makeup right after with no hassle, or with less of a hassle anyway. It was just really strange. And I feel weird for saying this, but I feel like there was just something wrong with all the makeup in this movie. For some reason, I kept on noticing in all of Sophie Turner's scenes that her eyebrows were just like really sharp. And it's like they kept on becoming brighter and sharper in like every scene, like throughout the film. Like I felt like that was one of Phoenix's hidden powers, that she was just making her eyebrows more on fleek. I hate myself for saying that, but it was so strange. And then, like, Jessica Chastain's character, like, she was, like, losing her eyebrows throughout the film. Like, at first I thought that they were just really blonde, but at one point I'm almost 1,000% sure that she had no eyebrows at all. It was very strange. And I definitely did not expect this conversation to go in that direction, but it is what it is. Overall, I just felt like there was really a lot of inconsistencies with like a lot of the practical effects and a lot of the practical makeup that's traditionally used in these films, and it was very noticeable, at least to me it was. Even the way the film ends kind of throws off the consistency that was established with Days of Future Past. Like, that timeline is entirely thrown out the window, and I love that timeline, okay? For me, these films don't really get any better after Days of Future Past. For me, that's where this franchise stops. I kind of try to ignore Apocalypse, and I'm definitely gonna really try harder to ignore this one. To me, these last two X-Men films have just been fluff pieces, and it really hasn't made much sense to even explore the Phoenix storyline because, I mean, they've already done it with The Last Stand, and they even touch upon it a little bit at the end of Apocalypse. So, yeah, to say that this film is redundant is a true overstatement. For a final film in a pretty big franchise, this was very unsatisfying. From beginning to end, it feels unnecessary, and you can tell that everybody who worked on this kind of knew that they were overstaying their welcome. It's very strange, but that's the best way that I can really sum up this film. It's not my favorite entry in the franchise by a long shot, but it's also not the worst. However, it's not the worst by much. And for that, I'm going to give this film 2 stars.
It's fantastic.
Yes, it is.
Psych! Guys, thanks so much for watching. As always, if you like this video, hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed, I would ask that you please subscribe. I post new videos weekly, and I'm always working on new stuff, you already know, and I had a whole lot of stuff planned for the rest of the month, but because of this whole camera situation, I had to rethink some things, so some things you might still get to see, some things you might have to wait a little longer to see, but just know that it's coming. Okay, and I apologize if this video's kind of rough still. I'm still getting the hang of this iPhone thing, but I like it. I think it's pretty cool so far. Let me know what you think in the comments section, but also let me know what you thought about this movie. I'm really interested to see what all you guys thought. Some people, some critics that I follow, who I was expecting to dislike this movie, actually kind of liked it, so I mean, that goes to show that anybody could really go either way on anything, and that's what I love about this industry. That's what I love about opinion in general. So please let me know what you liked, what you didn't like about this film, just anything. If you just want to say hi, go ahead and say it in the comment section. I love interacting with you guys. I love to hear what you guys have to say, and I look forward to reading them. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. Once again, it really does mean the world to me that you take the time out of your day to view these videos. I love making them for you, and I should probably get back to work. So, until next time, I'm Dempsey Pallot. Take care.